This is Plant-Based Briefing. Plant-based diets linked to lower risk of severe COVID-19 in new study by Dana Hudepohl at forksoverknives.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson, and this is the Plant-Based Podcast where I curate, get permission, and narrate a variety of articles on plant-based, vegan, and eco-friendly living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And today's article is from forksoverknives.com. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you've heard of them before. I narrate from them pretty regularly. They have amazing content on their website. The latest research, success stories, recipes, and tools to help people at every phase of their plant-based journeys. And the world-famous documentary Forks Over Knives has changed countless people's lives, and you can watch it for free on YouTube or find it at their site, forksoverknives.com. And today's article I thought was timely as we're heading into cold, flu, and COVID season here in the Northern Hemisphere. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. Plant-based diets linked to lower risk of severe COVID-19 in new study by Dana Hudepohl at forksoverknives.com. Plant-based diets may offer a protective advantage against severe COVID-19, finds a new study published in BMJ Nutrition, Prevention, and Health. It is one of the first studies to investigate dietary patterns and COVID-19 outcomes. Over a 2-month period in the summer of 2020, researchers surveyed 2,884 frontline doctors and nurses who reported a high frequency of exposure to COVID-19 patients. The healthcare workers in specialties such as internal medicine, emergency medicine, and critical care worked in France, Germany, Italy, Spain, the United Kingdom, and the United States. In addition to answering questions about medical history, lifestyle, and COVID-19 symptoms, participants completed a 47-item questionnaire regarding the frequency with which they ate certain foods. The research was led by Sarah Siedelman, MD, of Columbia University. The results were striking. Participants who reported following plant-based diets, vegetarian diets, or pescatarian diets had 59% lower odds of moderate to severe COVID-19. The reduction was even greater when looking solely at those who followed plant-based and vegetarian diets. Those participants had 73% lower odds of experiencing moderate to severe COVID-19 compared with participants who did not follow a plant-based or vegetarian diet. These associations did not substantially change even when adjusting for potential confounding factors such as underlying medical conditions, body weight, smoking status, exercise, and access to personal protective equipment, or PPE. In contrast, those who followed low-carb, high-protein diets had a 48% greater risk of moderate to severe COVID-19 compared with other participants in a model adjusting for demographic characteristics, health behaviors, and medical specialty. Compared with those who followed plant-based diets, low-carb, high-protein eaters had a nearly 4-fold greater risk. In considering what may account for this difference, the researchers pointed to the fact that plant-based diets are rich in nutrients, including phytochemicals, vitamins, and minerals, and fiber. These nutrients are hypothesized to support the immune system as they play important roles in the production of antibodies, proliferation of lymphocytes, and reduction of oxidative stress, they wrote. Our results suggest that a healthy diet rich in nutrient-dense foods may be considered for protection against severe COVID-19. The study authors also noted that when they restricted the data to include only cases of those with a positive COVID-19 test or detectable antibodies, they noticed that individuals who reported following plant-based or pescatarian diets had lower odds of becoming infected with COVID-19 at all. But because this was a small number of cases, this line of investigation requires replication. If we're looking at which diet we ought to recommend to reduce COVID severity, a healthy vegan diet has come out of the blocks really strongly. Alan Desmond, MD, MRCPI, FRCP, a gastroenterologist and author of The Plant-Based Diet Revolution, said in his review of the study on an Instagram live broadcast, "Meat and dairy and poultry are not nutrient-dense foods. The nutrient-dense foods are the plants." You just listened to Plant-Based Diets Linked to Lower Risk of Severe COVID-19 in New Study by Dana Hudepohl at forksoverknives.com. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. This is such great information to have a study confirming it. If you're interested, go back to episode 4, where I read T. Colin Campbell's commentary called The Path to Recovery Through Nutrition, Our Most Important Defense Against COVID-19. He wrote that in April of 2020, before these study results even came out. And it's interesting that people eating a low-carb, high-protein diet like keto might think they're getting healthier, but they don't really understand what's going on inside. People on low-carb, high-protein diets had almost a 50% greater risk of developing moderate to severe COVID. Yet if you ate a plant-based or vegetarian diet, you had a 73% lower risk. But if you added fish to that diet, so if you were pescatarian, that dropped down to 59% lower risk, compared with those who ate a standard omnivore diet. So adding that fish does hurt you a little bit. I've heard Dr. Brooke Goldner refer to this study a couple of times. She helps people recover from long COVID and reverse autoimmune disease with her hypernourishing protocol, packing in the raw, high-nutrient veggies in smoothie form. And she teaches her protocol for free on her website, goodbyelupus.com. And she's got 2 books that outline a bit more detail, Goodbye Lupus and Goodbye Autoimmune Disease. Highly recommend those. Whether you have autoimmune disease or long COVID or just want to have more energy and feel healthier, even compared to regular whole food plant-based eating, her protocol can give you a real boost. If you want more information, check out episodes 373 and 374, Healing Autoimmune Disease with Supermarket Foods. And please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.